I've always said that I love The Last Jedi. And on the other channel, which you can visit, called Not Funny, I've talked about this. This was before I chose to have a separate channel where I talk about films. I've talked about this film in lengths. But I thought I'd try the other format, where I watch the film with you, and I comment when I feel like commenting. It's the rolling credits. Basically, talks about Force Awakens. Here's the thing about Force Awakens. I think that's all right. I think it's good fun. It's good fun. And The Last Jedi, I think, it's been, even those who like it, sort of, has called it a swing and a miss. And I admire films that is a swing and a miss. Like, they tried, at least. Tried something ambitious. But I think this is a big swing and a success. I really love this film. And I've seen it many times before. So it's not like I remember it as being better than it was. This is The Last Jedi. And also, this is a real Viking cup, which I bought at a Viking market earlier this month. Also a video about that on the other channel. But this is made from some bullhorn or something. Yeah. And I also recently understand or read somewhere, or someone said that, drinking or talking about no juice, it begins with B and ends with air. I can't talk about it or show it. So, inside this cup, there is no juice. No juice. Grown up drink. So I'm gonna drink some grown up drink and watch The Last Jedi. Many things I love about this film is camera work. Rian Johnson's camera work is so fucking good, and his editing. It has the Mad Max feel where you have the composition wise, you have the thing in the center. So it cuts, but there's always something in the center, which makes the action more understandable and not just schlock crap like at the end of Batman Dawn of Justice, Batman vs Superman, that crap. And also the cinematography. I think it's the best looking film of all Star Wars films. The worst looking is, by the way, Solo, a Star Wars story. But yeah, it's the best looking Star Wars film. No, Rogue One maybe, but I feel like for me, 2/3 of that film is nothing. It's just kind of nothing. And then the third act is great, so that's what I think. And a great opening, a great fucking opening. People complain about plot holes and stuff like that. I said this before, I don't care about plot holes, I care about characters and understanding characters and them having an arc. So when the bombers comes, you have this huge fucking ship from First Order, right? And the bombers come from the Allies, the Resistance. They get taken out real fast. But this is the whole opening scene, the whole action scene. Is baked in. It's a facade almost, but the real thing is the character of Rose Tico's sister, which you visually can see her sacrificing herself for the greater good, right? And she having the half of the jewelry that Rose Tico, her sister, has later on. It's really great. Actually, it's a really good. This is a motivation thing for Rose Tico. This is for her, kind of, Also for Finn. Now I'm sorry, Poe Dameron, because he needs to be a leader. Fuck, I gotta charge my phone. This channel is so shitty. I'm using an old phone from 2021. The battery is so crappy, so I gotta charge the phone. But yeah, the opening scene is great. Yeah, drinking no juice from this one, and it's not great. It's not great. It tastes weird, and yeah. And when people talk about the intro, the opening scene, yeah, they talk about the bombers, them just getting destroyed immediately. The whole point about the opening battle scene is about loss and what are you willing to sacrifice. Also, you gotta remember that these bombers have like 2 or 3 people in them, so it's a loss. But there's not like, I guess since they seem so big, that people think that more people in them. I don't know, but they actually get to destroy a whole huge First Order ship. Yes, I know this guy isn't from The Last Jedi, but yeah. As I said, I've softened to the Attack of the Clones. It's terrible, but the last 40 minutes is pretty good. And then he is pretty cool. Yeah, they're keeping it. Fuck! They're keeping it right in the middle of the shot all the time. Right in the middle. Cut right in the middle. Cut right in the middle. Cut right in the middle. Look at this. Look at this shot. Huh? This is so good. This is so good. It feels like a movie, you know? The prequels don't feel like films. Maybe the third one. Maybe the third one. There's the necklace. The half of a necklace that Rose has. This camera work in the middle, always in the middle. In the middle, yeah, in the middle, it's always in the middle. Yeah, cut to the middle. You see what I say? That's not the middle, but in the middle. Fuck, this is good. This is Star Wars, you know? Oh, it's so good.
Come on, you must have 1,000 questions.
Where's Ray?
That's a transition, baby. And the same type of transition comes later on. Well, not much later. When Luke says, "Where's Han?" and it cuts to Kylo Ren. Fuck, every time I try to charge the phone, there's another scene I want to talk about.
Where's Han?
Another great transition.
You wonder why I keep...
Look at this. It looks so great. And it's my thing about that is about, so when George Lucas made the original, he was very influenced by the Westerns and Second World War, and also Akira Kurosawa. And it feels like, or it seems like, Rian Johnson absolutely homages that. And which one of them, Kurosawa's films, are Shakespeare, basically? Ron? Something like that. In the comment, tell me. But yeah, the color palette is quite similar. And when he finally could use colors, he used colors like a motherfucker. And I remember Angry Joe, you remember him? He complained about it being too colorful in the throne room. Sith should have black wardrobes, and it should be dark. What kind of complaint is that?
The potential of your bloodline. A new Vader. Take that ridiculous thing off.
And something else that Rian Johnson understood is that Adam Driver is a really, really good actor. And him having a mask on is a pure sin. So I love that the first, 3 minutes, Kylo Ren destroys his mask. And they also set up the idea that Kylo Ren is not necessarily, he doesn't like Snoke. He wants to challenge him, which he does in this scene, but he fails, and then he goes and smashes the fucking thing, the helmet. So I even made a shitty storyboard to prove my point. So here is the pilot. This is just my story of 3 friends. This is the pilot, X, cutting to, composition-wise. The ship with the pilot in, also X in the middle, cutting to that one shooting, right? Explosion, also in the middle. When you cut to the eyes, doesn't go like, okay. So this is the other example of what not to do. X, or you can, but, and then the eye goes from center to far right, then to far left, the eye goes like this. Dialogue-wise, that's fine, but action-wise, that's what makes Fury Road so good, action-wise, you know? X, 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 in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, and that's what this film also does. Hey, look, it's Vader, flaky as fuck. Yeah, and also people were complaining, still are, I guess, about ships needing fuel. Like, oh no, they haven't said that in the Star Wars universe before, so this film brings new things to the table, and that's not good. Remember, it was in Empire. That's the first time Luke did like the thing. He got his lightsaber from the snow monster. You know, that's the first time. It never happens in New Hope. So, yeah, introduces new things. And also that the First Order can track them during light speed. I don't get why that's a problem either. It's a new thing. They even say it. Oh my god, they can track us through light speed. Oh my fucking god. Oh. People also complain about this. They ridicule it. Oh, so stupid. Whatever. Well, the way I see it, in the first Star Wars, Ben Kenobi was a wizard. And he taught Luke to be a wizard. She's a wizard because she also has the Force. This is what happens. She gets blown out of the ship, and since she's a Jedi, a wizard, she can go back into the fucking ship. It's so simple as that, and I found it moving. I found it great with the Leia theme in the background, and she floats back. It's people said it's like Mary Poppins or whatever. Well, I found it wonderful, beautiful. That's a good old Luke. I like that.
Yes. A sacred island. Watch the language.
That's a very Luke thing to say.
Old friend, I'm not coming back. Nothing can make me change my mind.
Years ago, you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire. I resent my father's request.
It was a cheap move.
I have nothing more to say than I love that scene. I love it. All right, let's talk about Hermit Luke. I get in retrospect that the hero, the positive hero, now broken and depressed and angry, that's a cliche now. And it happened with Han Solo in the Force Awakens, and it happens to Luke now. I get that. But in this film, if you treat this film as its own thing, which it is, it really works. And I really think Mark Hamill plays it really, really well. It's nice to see him back in a film of this caliber and this with this budget, and him, being Luke again. And as I said in the scene with C-3PO, you can see this is a small fraction. There's still some Luke in there. And we'll get to his arc, because he has an arc. And I'll explain why I love his journey, his personal journey in this. I love it. Yeah, we see Rey popping up on the last picture there, Rey and Luke. So let's talk about Rey. She is very interesting in this. She gets no help from anyone, not from Luke, because he is stubborn and he thinks that the Jedi needs to end. She is on this island with only him, trying to convince him to get back, which he won't. And she is trying to figure out who she is. And when she goes into the sacred fucking thing, the cave or whatever, we think, first time watching, that it's going to be the same thing that happens to Luke in Empire. That he sees himself. He learns something. That he is afraid of being Darth Vader because he's his father. And in this one, she gets nothing out of it. And when she learns later on that her parents were nobody, and she is actually nobody, that breaks her heart, right? As Ryan Johnson said, what would be the worst possible moment that character could hear at that time? This comes later in the film, right? And that would be that she is actually nobody. But that's the whole point of the film, which we will get to later. But yeah, her having nobody out there other than Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, and their thing, which they have, and that's also a new Force thing that's introduced. Them together talking and Force fucking thing, whatever, call it whatever. Also, Adam Driver, great actor, and I love that he doesn't get a redemption in this, because Force Awakens, remember in The Force Awakens, it starts with him killing civilians, and when it Rise of Skywalker is a whole different monster. I hate that film. I hate that film. Of course, Ben Shapiro loved that one. But yeah, anyway. Oh no, it's the pink-haired lady. Oh my God, Laura Dern. Oh my God. Again, I can sort of see this, that she is kind of looking down at him. And, well, that is also kind of the point. Paul Dameron represents like the hero, the hero we're told, like Han Solo, only like, not a fucking scumbag, but he's the traditional hero in this. But the film is actually asking questions of that hero archetype and what place that hero would have in a place like this, where you need to learn basically how to be more strategic and not a hot rod, In films where hot rods, like, is that a hot rod? No, hot shots, like Top Gun or whatever. He's rewarded for being a hot shot, for being a maverick. But this film doesn't reward him for being that, which I find interesting, which Laura Dern's character represents, the person who says to him, like, makes him learn that maybe he needs to change his approach. I mean, I am not the most handsome guy, but I do get laid if I want to. And for me, it's much more interesting with women that have something to say, or, my dating history is 90% women that are successful. I'm not successful at all, but somehow they find me attractive, interesting at least. But I like being challenged by women, and me challenging them. My nose is very, tätt i näsa. Anyway, and me being appreciative of strong women and calling out on my shit, because I'm basically an anarchist. I'm kind of like Paul Dameron. I can't follow rules. I'm terrible at it. And I like strong women giving me shit for that. So that's my thing about that. I have no problem with, women being authority figures, It's the first time Rey and Kylo Ren does the thing, right? They see each other through the Force. And Kylo Ren says, "You're not doing this. The effort would kill you." Set up for Luke later on. Also, this is a really good and inventive way to connect the two without them being at the same place. Fuck, it's probably nose hair that makes my nose like this. I'm 37, for real. That's my age. And as soon as I became like 30 years old, nose hairs, but look at my nostrils. They're like two vaginas, All right, let's talk about Finn for a moment. He has his character arc is to
become basically what Poe Dameron is in this film. His arc is to become a member of the Resistance. Rian Johnson said that in Force Awakens, if you look at it, like, he never becomes a part of the Resistance. He does everything for Rey, which this film starts with. He wants to find Rey. That is his goal. But at the end, he learns that there is more than that. There's a bigger war that he has to be a part of. And Rose is someone who teaches him this throughout the film. Also, the shitty Han Solo, played by Benicio del Toro, the guy with the stammer. Fuck it, let's talk a little bit about the subplot. We'll get there sooner or later, but people complain about the horse things, you know, that they released them, and that whole spiel. For me, that is a nod to the prequels. The prequels had more like this element of childlike wonderment, or try to at least, but it reminds me of the prequels in a way that's, let's just have fun, and let's just have fun for the kids. The kids like this sort of thing, you know, these horse things and whatever. Also, Rose teaches him that you can do good. Being a part of the Resistance is not necessarily just fighting the First Order. It is about doing good. If you're not about doing good in general, what is the point?
This is the second time Rey and Kylo Ren meets through the Force, and she calls him a monster, and he says, "Yes, I am."
Murderous snake.
It's obvious that Kylo Ren Ben Solo hates himself. He really does. And I think he hates himself for what he did to his father. He thought that was going to free him from the light side, go fully dark side. It said so earlier in the film, but it didn't. And that's why he almost kills his mother. But he don't. Somebody else blows up the whole thing, but, you know. You see, this film is very character-driven. Yes, that was first scene was from Wings 1927. I was tempted to say that was the first film who used a tracking shot, but that's not true. The first film is from a silent movie called Cabrino or something, whatever, from 1914. But yeah. And you might say, oh, does that make a great movie just because you reference other filmmakers? No, but it makes the film feel like a film. And also, this tracking shot from The Last Jedi, that is, has in the middle, right? As I talked about. This is Akira Kurosawa, right? Something like that. And this is Ram. This is the color palette I was talking about. These aren't the greatest pictures. Well, they are, but it's not representative. Look, that's The Last Jedi anyway. There you go. Look at that one. And this is from Rashomon. And Rashomon was a film about a crime that happened. I won't go into what crime. But the person that committed the crime is now bound and blah, blah, blah. And we hear from four different perspectives, four different people about this crime, and we learn more and more about it. And yes, that is Rian Johnson with love in his heart, pure love in his heart, addressing and referencing what Luke Skywalker was, George Lucas was all about.
referencing like I don't remember which film it was. Was it Seven Samurai? I don't remember. But the film starts with, that is also Akira Kurosawa, starts with basically C-3PO and R2-D2. He has taken those characters straight from a Akira Kurosawa film. I might say his name wrong, but fuck it, right?
That small alien lady, I don't know, remember her name, whatever, the small alien lady. They contact her earlier on in the film, and she says, you gotta find on Canto Bight code breaker. And she builds him up like this very interesting character, which he seems like he's played by some asshole. What the fuck was his name again? Justin Theroux. And they see him, and he has this mustache and this rose hair, and he plays whatever. And then they get arrested. And that is also a character they could have explored more in the third film. They could have also explored DJ, which is played by Benicio del Toro, which they'll meet pretty soon. Could have explored that, because Ryan Johnson, again, he said that DJ is Han Solo not turning good. He's just the scumbag, right? Also, stupid complaints from the times, from back in the day. How do you... that is back in the day now, 2017. Anyway, fuck it. Complaints was that this is so stupid, that they seem too similar to Earth, Canto Bight. That these classy people, these high society people, it seemed too much like a tuxedo and whatever. Really? There's a lot of these complaints, those complaints were about something being new. Like Angry Joe complaining about Snoke being too colorful, and these people being too much to the, of the Earth, and what? Yeah, Luke. Yeah, that's another thing. But anyway, fuck it, right?
Look closer. I grew up in a poor mining system.
You know what? It's a nice little side story. Like, don't treat animals or anyone like shit, And also, there's a little setup with this kid, like here. It comes later.
They took one business in the galaxy that'll get you this rich.
Oh no, they look too similar to what?
Selling weapons. Was the first one. I could put my fist through this whole lousy, beautiful town.
That line is stupid, and I hate it. That line, a fist through this lousy, beautiful town. No, I hate it.
You know what? This is part one. My videos are so shitty that I can't expect anyone, like 30 minutes is quite long enough. So I can't expect anyone to see. So this is part one, all right? So bye for now.